The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. And while we're talking about the future, we cannot ignore the booming agricultural sector. And what's making the agricultural sector more interesting right now is that we're not only dependent on the local markets, but also the international markets. Africans, especially the young people, are constantly coming up with various innovative ways how they can improve yield and also sourcing for external markets on how they can be able even to sell more even as they improve their yield. And while this sector is booming, not each and every crop is making millionaires out there. There are a few specific crops that done the right way or with the right kind of space or with the right kind of demand in the market will make you a millionaire in a span of a year. Let us look at some of these crops, and then at the end of the video, let me know what you think. Whether you already have the land or you're looking to lease a land, let's see some of these crops and their financial projections in terms of earning when you decide to venture into those kind of markets. So basically, the dragon fruit previously was a fruit that was not considered to be able to grow in Africa. And if you look at the fruit, you'll realize that it looks more like a fruit from the cactus family. And one thing we know about the cactus family is that they're succulent. They don't really have that structure of a stem that really supports them. So if you are looking to farm this plant, the first thing you have to consider is that they need some kind of support for them to be able to stand erect on the farm. So the first thing that is needed is either something to support them. This could be a wooden structure like poles, or something that is made of concrete if you want something that is more durable, because we know that poles made of timber could easily be eaten up by termites. So I've also realized that there's also a company in Nanyuki. I'll confirm the name. I'll put the name right down here below. They're making poles out of recycled plastic. So this is also another company you can approach, because I believe plastic is cheaper than concrete. So you can also approach them for those kind of poles and then put them on your farm. And usually they are placed on the farm with a width of 2 meters in between each plant. So that means if you are looking to plant these dragon fruits on a 1 acre farm, you're going to be getting about 1,000. You're going to be getting at about 1,000 poles, and each pole can support up to 2 succulent plants. So that's a total of about 2,000 plants. Each plant can give an average of about 30 fruits in a year, and if you are estimating with the common weight of each plant, which is about half a kilogram, that means if you have 30 plants from each tree, and each tree is giving you about 500 grams per fruit, so that's about 15 kilograms per plant per year. So if you look at the total earnings that this kind of investment could earn you, that's 15 kilograms multiplied by the 2,000 trees, that 2,000 vines that you've been able to plant on your farm. So 15 kilograms you multiply by 2,000 vines that you have, this will be about 30,000 kilograms of dragon fruits in a year. And the 30,000 kilograms per year is for 1 acre. So if you have more land that you plant in, so you multiply that by the number of acres that you have. There before, the price was going at 800 shillings per kg. So per year that would have been a whopping 24 million from 1 acre of land. But now that the prices of dragon fruits have somehow gone down, that means that you'll be making about half, because right now the prices of dragon fruit, especially to retailers, is going for roughly 400 per kg. So that still means you'll be walking away with 12 million in a year. And some of the things that you can do is value addition. Of course, value addition enables you to make more from a fruit. There are so many untapped opportunities when it comes to this kind of plant. Some of the things I think somebody can do, especially if you're a dragon fruit farmer and you feel like selling it to the market right now, is more selling it at a loss, because I believe that there is working capital, there is the startup capital involved in taking care of this plant. You can venture into making jam. The dragon fruit is a very sweet fruit, and if somebody can make jam out of it, this will come out very well, given the numerous benefits that this kind of plant has. You can venture into making yogurt. I believe if somebody just made good yogurt from a dragon fruit plant, this is something that will be flying off the shelves. You can slice them up, pack them properly, and then also sell them to supermarkets for people who want something to just like snack with. Yeah, so those are some of the things that you can try out with the dragon fruit and see how that goes for you. Because what value addition does is that it enables you to make a product out of this raw material. So instead of you selling out the fruits, you actually make a product that you yourself can sell at a higher profit. The dragon fruit, once planted, it will stay on the farm for 30 years before it can no longer continue giving you yield. So if you're going to make this kind of investment, I believe it's going to be profitable in the long run, because it's only in the first year that you'll be incurring a startup capital. The second one is the passion fruit. The passion fruit has so many uses, ranging from personal use, uses in hotels to make juices and shakes, and also there are companies who are also looking for the passion fruit to be able to make juices made for export market and also the local market. The best part is that the passion fruit already has a very high demand. Some of the advantages of the passion plant is that it has a very long lifespan, so it allows you to continue reaping profits from this plant over a very long period of time. And also, companies like Coca-Cola are also trying to come up with their own fresh juices due to people wanting healthier options in the market. And guess who they'll be coming to for those passions as they continue to launch these products? It's definitely you as the farmer. So the first thing is, in about 1 hectare of land, 1 hectare of land is the projection I've been able to work with. So this is about 2.47 acres. So for 2.47 acres, this is going to give you about 50,000 kilograms of passion fruits. In the wholesale market, the price of passion is going for around 50 shillings per kilogram. That is the last time I checked. So I don't know if the prices have gone up right now, but I'm sure that the prices must have gone up. So if you're working with the lowest price possible of about 50 shillings per kilogram, this means 50,000 times 50. 50 shillings is the price that you sell to brokers if you just want to target the wholesale market. But if you're looking to make more money, the good thing is that the passion fruit doesn't produce all of its yield at once. It keeps producing its yield in stages. So you can plan yourself and see how you can do marketing for your own plants and target the direct consumers, like people in your neighborhood, people who are working, people who have restaurants who go for the produce in the market. You can give them a better deal, which is a better price than the one you would give to brokers, and then get a better profit from that. You could market your produce online and target consumers directly so that they can source the products from you. I have just tried to check on my Google, and I realized that the passion fruit in the retail market is going for about 300 to 400 per kilogram. So imagine if you can sell this fruit on your own and try to market it from a personal level. The third fruit on our list is the strawberry. A strawberry is the kind of fruit that has so many uses, as we have said. You can use a strawberry to sell it as a fruit, you can use a strawberry to make ice creams, you can use strawberries to make shakes, you can use strawberries to make perfumes. Strawberries are also used in some of the lotions. I mean, a strawberry is being used in so many things, including even the yogurt. Research lets me know that most of the people who are using strawberries, especially in the manufacturing of ice creams and also yogurts, and also the perfumes, they're relying on importing the products from other markets. So imagine the kind of gap that is here, that people have to import strawberries from another country, yet we here in Kenya are not even able to supply this kind of market. So it shows that there's already a gap in the market. This is more than enough proof that you need to start a strawberry farm today. Strawberries can grow in any parts of the country, provided there is a controlled temperature, and if you can have a greenhouse, even better, and also a constant supply of water. Strawberry also takes about 70 days before it produces its own first yield. So if you have a good space, you can invest in greenhouses, and if you don't have a greenhouse, it's still okay, because strawberries can be arranged in containers. And if you have a backyard that you can maximize very well, you can actually arrange them in a way that they're going to give you as maximum yield as possible in your own backyard. One thing you have to realize is that before your fruits are mature enough to be sold, you have to source for a market beforehand, because the strawberries are perishable. They take about 4 to 5 days before they get spoiled. So it's good for you to do marketing in advance. Try to find markets for your produce before they're even ripe, so that as soon as they are ripe, you have a ready market waiting. So let's talk about the kind of yield we are expecting from about a land that is as small as an 1/8 acre. So while I was having a conversation with a strawberry farmer, she let me know that an 1/8 of an acre gives about 30 to 50 kilograms This means that for 50 kilograms production, because 50 times 4 weeks is 200 kgs, and then if you multiply by the selling price of strawberries, which is 200, that means the 8th acre can give you about 40,000 per month. We're talking about 40,000 per month from an eighth of an acre per month. So if you are somebody who has about an acre, a whole acre of land, so you're talking about 40 times 8, which is a financial projection of 320,000 per month. So if you translate into a year, we're talking about figures of up to 3.5 million in a year. Fourth on the list is mushroom farming. This is one of the crops that has left farmers in deep profits. And this is highly motivated by the fact that mushrooms do not really need soil for them to grow. They need something that is widely known as a substrate. A substrate is a medium on which a plant can be grown, and there are usually some kind of crops usually don't really require the soil for you to grow them, and mushroom is one of them. A substrate can be any kind of waste from farms, whether it's waste from maize, whether it's waste from beans, whether it's waste from any kind of thing that is organic waste can be used as a substrate to grow mushrooms, because this is what will enable them to absorb nutrients. Whether it's a plant like the water hyacinth, the one that grows on the lakes and is not really suitable for anything important, you can take some of that and use it as a substrate. A substrate could be a maize cob, it could be the straws from the maize plant, it could be waste from the bean plant. Like any organic waste is what we're calling a substrate. So all you need is a small space. If you're able to have a backyard or a space that you're not using, or a space in the farm that is about 10 by 10 feet square, you can easily construct a house made up of mud. A house mud actually is the most preferable one. You don't need expensive investments like in a greenhouse or land. You just need a space that is 10 by 10 square foot, and then partition that space such that you have shelves on which you can grow those mushrooms, and that is all you need for that kind of venture. This makes it perfect for most of us, especially here in town, because there's not much space for farming. So if you have a small garden space or a backyard, this is an idea that you can practice that can leave you in good profits. So there are different types of mushrooms, and the most common type of mushrooms that is consumed in the market is the oyster mushroom. So let's talk more about farming of this, specifically oyster mushroom. If we are talking about a space of 10 by 10 square feet, that's 100 square feet total. So if 1 square foot can produce a total of 10 kilograms in a span of a year, this means that in a span of a year, if you have 100 square feet in total for that 10 by 10 square feet, for that 10 by 10 room, so this means it's 10 by 100 square feet. That gives a total of 1,000 square feet per year. But this is not even the most interesting part. The most interesting part is how much 1 kilogram of mushroom, oyster mushroom specifically, is going for. 1 kilogram is going for 400 Kenya shillings. And if you multiply the 1,000 kilograms that you've been able to harvest in a year, multiplied by 400 shillings in the market, that's a whopping 400,000 per year from a small space of 10 by 10 square feet. So imagine a scenario where you have an eighth of an acre. Remember, an eighth of an acre can fit 50 of the 10 square feet. So that means we are going to multiply this earning of 400,000 per year by 50. So if you multiply, we're talking about earnings of 20 million shillings in a year from mushroom farming on a 50 by 100 sized piece of land. If this is not convincing enough that farming is the way to go, I don't know what will. The sixth one on the list is the pawpaw, and one thing I'll be honest is that the pawpaw is not something that ever crossed my mind when I've ever thought of maybe venturing into farming. But then what surprised me is how profitable this plant is compared to the little kind of care it actually needs or attention it needs for you to be able to make money out of this plant. The advantages of these crops beat any other crop in the market because one, this plant is drought resistant. A pawpaw plant can grow anywhere, whether there is enough water, whether there is no water, this plant is very drought resistant. And also another thing is that pawpaws are resistant to pests, and also they require very little maintenance for you to be able to make profits from them. Right now, the main advantage that is there in the pawpaw farming is that right now we don't really need the very tall trees that take years to grow. Right now, there are varieties of of pawpaw that are the dwarfs. And once you plant these pawpaws from seedling stage, they take only 9 months for them to start producing their first yield. Just like the dragon fruit, pawpaw trees are planted in intervals of 2 meters across from each other. So if you're talking about an acre of land, you're going to have about 1100 trees of pawpaw in 1 acre of land. In 1 year, given how quick pawpaws are able to give yield, and also they're able to give multiple yields per tree, you find that in a span of a year, the 1 acre is capable of producing 40 to 50 tons. A ton is 1,000 kilograms. So this is about 40,000 to 50,000 kilograms per acre in a span of a single year. A single kilo of pawpaw from the farm's gate, there's this price at the farm's gate and there's the price in the market. So at the farm, at the gate of the farm, the pawpaw is going for 30 shillings per kilogram. If you're multiplying each kilo by 30 shillings, we're talking about an average of 1.2 to 1.5 million per year. And remember, this kind of fruit does not require much of your attention. So if you just have a single middle person who is just taking care in terms of putting security on your farm, that is all that you're going to need for a pawpaw farm. Pawpaws are maintenance free, pawpaws are pest free, and they also do not require a lot of water. So if you're looking for something you can grow on a piece of land of about an acre or more, that will give you profit without you taking so much of your time maybe to do something else, a pawpaw farm is definitely a good venture. And that's not even the best part yet. The best part is that pawpaw farm requires very little capital to start, because a single tree, which is a seedling for planting the pawpaw, is going for only 50 shillings. So if you're looking at 1100 trees for that 1 acre pawpaw farm, we're talking about 50 times 1100, which translates to 55,000 Kenya shillings. So even if you're factoring in the issue of salaries for the person who is taking care of your farm and every other charges, that pawpaw farm will not spend over 100,000. So maybe do the math. In an investment of 100,000, that gives you 1.5 million in a span of a year. That means you're looking at profits of about 1.4 million in a year. I don't know about you, but if you ask me, I do not know of a single money market farm or a fixed bank account plan that gives you a profit of 1.4 million in a span of a year after saving 100,000 with them. These are profits of over 95%, and if you're looking for something that gives you value, like the most value for your money, a pawpaw farm is definitely something you should try. These are some of the few crops that I've been able to dive deep into and be able to get information about from different farmers. But one thing is for sure is that there are also other crops out there like the kiwi fruit and many more others. So if there are others that you'd like us to talk about, especially here on this channel, mention them down below and then we'll try and access the farmers and see what they have to say about that crop. Stay blessed. Let's meet in the next.